The most expensive mistake people make with license plate recognition is assuming any high-resolution camera can do it. A 4K overview camera is not automatically an LPR camera, and plenty of people find that out after the install. Plate capture is a geometry problem before it's a hardware problem. I'm Marty, I spec surveillance systems for a living, and in the next few minutes I'll show you what dedicated LPR actually requires, where general cameras fall short, and the deployment details that decide whether you capture plates or headlight glare. License plate capture is a specialized job. A dedicated LPR camera is tuned for one target: a small retro-reflective rectangle on a moving vehicle. That means a fast shutter-to-freeze motion, infrared illumination matched to the plate's retro-reflective coating, and optics chosen to put enough pixels on the plate at your captured distance. And to clear up a common confusion, when the plate glows bright in an LPR image, it isn't glowing because it's hot. This is not thermal imaging. The retro-reflective sheeting on the plate returns the camera's own infrared illumination straight back toward the lens, so the plate lights up while the rest of the scene goes dark. Recognition, turning that image into searchable text, can run on the camera or on the recorder, and it's only as good as the capture feeding it. Capture first, recognition second. You cannot recognize what you failed to capture. That order never changes. Here's where expectations usually break. People want one camera to give a nice wide overview of the entrance and red plates. Those are two different jobs answering two different questions. Overview cameras answer, what happened? LPR cameras answer, which vehicle was it? Different questions, different deployments. The overview wants a wide scene and balanced exposure. The plate wants a tight zoom and an exposure so short, the overall image often looks nearly black at night. Ask one camera to do both, and it does both badly. If the site needs the scene and the plate, and most do, the honest answer is two cameras, one for context, one for capture. And here's the heart of it: the four variables that decide plate capture long before any setting does: distance, angle, lane width, and vehicle speed. Distance sets how many pixels land on the plate. Angle has hard limits. The manufacturer states horizontal and vertical maximums, and past them the plate skews beyond what recognition handles reliably. Lane width matters because most LPR deployments work best at one lane per camera. And speed. Every camera has a stated capture speed rating, and a camera rated for 30 miles an hour doesn't suddenly become an 80-mile-an-hour camera because it's 4K. Get those four right and a modest camera performs. Get one wrong and no camera saves you. One more thing experienced installers know: a beautifully mounted camera that's 6 inches too high or aimed a few degrees too wide can miss plates all day long. The field detail that decides these projects. Night is the real exam. In daylight, plenty of cameras read a slow plate. After dark, the problem sharpens into one sentence: the exposure required for the scene and the exposure required for the license plate are fundamentally different. That difference is why LPR cameras exist. A shutter slow enough to brighten the scene smears the characters into a streak and lets headlights wash the frame. The LPR exposure goes the other way, short and dark, while the retro-reflective plate bounces the camera's own IR straight back and exposes correctly. But that trick only works inside the geometry, at the design distance, inside the angle limits, at or below the rated speed. You cannot configure your way out of bad geometry. On specs, stay deployment first. The number that matters most is pixels on the plate at your capture distance. Manufacturers publish capture distance tables per lens, and those beat resolution shopping every time. Check the rated capture speed against the honest speed of your traffic. Not the posted limit, the real speed. Confirm the angle limits fit your mounting position before anyone drills. And don't overlook mounting stability. OCR reads fine detail, and a camera vibrating slightly in the wind can quietly destroy recognition accuracy on a mount that looks perfectly solid from the ground. A correctly mounted, modest LPR camera will outperform a premium camera at the wrong angle every time. And recognition isn't the end of the story. LPR is an operational workflow, not just a camera. A read has to go somewhere. Where is the data stored? On the camera, the recorder, or a server? How long is it retained? Who gets alerted when a plate of interest shows up? Does a read trigger anything? A gate, access control, an alarm, or does it sit as searchable history? Answer those, and the system design, camera count, mounting, recorder, integrations, tends to draw itself. So the 5 questions that stay true no matter how the hardware changes. How fast is traffic actually moving? How many lanes am I covering? Do I need capture at night? What's the workflow? What happens with a read? And do I also need the overview? The vehicle, the driver, the context, captured alongside the plate? Answer those honestly and the design follows. So back to where we started. LPR isn't something you enable. It's something you design. Nail the geometry, match the speed rating, respect the angle limits, decide the workflow, and plate capture becomes dependable instead of disappointing. If you're planning an entrance, a gate, or a lot, use our buying guides and comparison tools, or reach out if you'd like another set of eyes on your layout. Links are below. I'm Marty. Build something that actually works.